Shalom, brothers and sisters. Grace, mercy, and peace be unto you from Yahuwah, that is our Father, and Yahusha. He is the Messiah, the one that carries the burden of Yah, his voice, our high priest, soon coming King. Hear, O Yesharo, Yahuwah, who is our mighty one. He is one. There is no other mighty one in existence than Yahuwah, and Yahusha is his voice. This is Mori of Yesharo, introducing YAHUAH'S, beginning of HADASH'S. Let me say it a different way. Introducing YAHUAH'S, beginning of months. The renewed moon was sighted and confirmed the evening of January 1st, which makes our Shabbat on Thursday. All praise, glory, wisdom, thanks be unto He who is seated upon the throne and unto the Lamb. Look, the Shamash and the moon, see it in the upper right-hand corner? The sun is the great luminary. All of your time is stored on the sun. The sun transfers the light equals time to the moon, and the moon is the display. You can see all of Yah's time play out on the moon. That's how the watch works. The sun does not have a separate calendar that you can write on paper. Everything you need to see, every day you need to follow, will be on the display. Why deny Yah's way and create your own? Look at the next picture. See the little arrow there? This is from the wall in Egypt. That's why it looks blurry. That circle is in the appointed time. They left Egypt eating the bread of haste under the watchful eye. He is watching you. Everything you say, everything you do is being recorded. ABAYAB, chapter 6, verse 1. Observe the Hadash of ABAYAB. Again, what does ABAYAB mean? The Father stretched forth his arm to the house. The house of what? The house of Yesharo. So ABAYAB is an action. It doesn't mean grain. It's what the Father did for the children of Yesharo in the land of Egypt. Did he do that for the Jews? No. That's why they changed it to ABAYAB and then gave you the definition that it means harvest. And you'll go with that and wipe out the Father and his action. And the action was for our ancestors. And keep the Passover unto Yahuwah, your Alayak. Here's another action. The powerful shepherd of men who stretched forth his arm with an open palm. For in the Hadash of ABAYAB, when the Father stretched forth his arm to the house of Yesharo, Yahuwah, your Alayak, brought you forth out of the land of Egypt by night. So ABAYAB is an action. Does not mean harvest. The Jews replaced the action for a harvest. Look at the calendar for Moon Giant on the right, on the bottom. The moon phases are on top, and on the bottom is the calendar. In 2019, the Father stretched forth his arm to the house of Yeshua in the land of their captivity, speaking of us, and the 400-year threshold. To do what? To give you his time so that you can come back to him. He waited to the third and the fourth generation when knowledge is increased and everything that was hidden can be revealed so that you can find your way back to him. But most of our brothers and sisters will not, because there's a problem. He said, if you seek me, you will find me. But first, you must search for me with all your heart. We did that. We gave up the world to follow him. Look, on the bottom, you'll see this fictitious calendar created by Pope Gregory, based on the sun, you know, like based on a true story, but it's not true. There is no solar calendar, brothers and sisters. The calendar that you're looking for is up top. The calendar is on the moon. It's the only display that you can see in the heavens. Why deny that to follow the Gentiles? Now, if you look on Pope Gregory's calendar, you can see that we overlaid the lunar event on top of this quasi-solar calendar so that we can find the days. And if you count from day 8 to day 17, that'll be 10 days. The moon has moved away from the sun in the amount of 10 days. It's a stumbling block for the children of Yeshua. They'll see it. They'll watch the moon move away, and they'll believe in their mind they have the ability to control it on paper. What a delusion. You making an adjustment on paper, will it change the rotations of the sun, the moon, and the stars in heaven? If you think that it will, you have a problem. And if you think that the Father's going to come to your time when he told you to follow the moon, and the moon does not go forward, it falls behind. Let's look at some sightings. Shiraz Ali. This is my friend, my buddy, my neighbor, my caretaker. He takes care of me. He takes me to all of my clinical appointments, every place I need to go, shopping for food, pays my bills, all kinds of things. He's been out there with me for 2 days looking for the moon. When he saw it, because he saw it first, he said, "Look, there it is. I see it right there. Can you see it? Can you see it? Can you see it?" He got so excited. This happens to every single person who spots it for the first time. They get excited because they've never seen it before. And then he took the picture, and here's his pic. Ahut Daya, North Carolina. She spotted it at 6:09. Look in her sky. It looks lavender, right? Beautiful pic. Brother Dash, he's in California. He sighted it at 5:15. There she is, in the western sky. YAHUAH'S, also known as Brother Carlin. Casa Grande, Arizona, 557. By the way, Brother Kayahu, excellent recitation on a renewed moon. We're going to do what's new on Yahuwah soon. Kuyabanyasharo. I know he's saying he always giving my whole Abaya name. North Carolina, 548. Look, he has the lavender hue also. Hezak Yahu, also known as Brother Xavier. He's in Virginia. He spotted it at 517. Look, you see it in the middle of the screen between the tree limbs? Yaka, that's Mayaka O Banyasharo. That's my name that I call him for short. And Ahut Dalilaya, the women's leader, Hampton, Virginia. They spotted it at 510. There she is, Asanya. She has become visible in the western sky. Brother Kuya's calendar. Thank you, Brother Kuya. Brother Kuya overlays the lunar event on top of this fictitious calendar created by the Gentiles so that you can find Yah's days in this matrix that they have created for us. Identify day number 2 in red. New Moon's Day. We spotted the moon in the evening of the 1st. How does a day work? From the evening of the 1st to the evening of the 2nd is a complete day. New Moon's Day is on the 2nd. We have fallen behind again. 10 more days. Some people ask, how is your feast in January? And they scoff at it. Well, once you really sit down and go through the book, you'll find that the moon will fall behind in the amount of 10 days every single year. If you're on Pope Gregory's calendar, it would give you the appearance of 11 days every year. Why? Pope Gregory's calendar has 7 intercalary days. So if you do absolutely nothing but follow the moon exactly as he said, your feast day would be in January. You can count from 2019 straight on through, and you'll see that we have a starting point. Do you? Now, they have a problem with this. They say that if you don't adjust the calendar, your feast will be all the way back in the winter month. So we didn't adjust the calendar. Did Yah say adjust the calendar? Did he say not to adjust the calendar? The answer is yes. He said, do not do it. And then he gave a penalty. Death. You are to follow the moon exactly as he said. That is his time. But our brothers are following the Gentiles, and they believe that their feasts must be between March and April. And then they call it Abib. If you do that, you are just like the Gentiles. You have wiped out the Father's name to follow a fictitious translation, because it's not a transliteration, it's just a translation of the word. Then they gave you a definition and said, it's harvest or grain. And it is not. Okay, everyone knows that in the first month, in the month of ABAYAB, and this is the month of ABAYAB, if you're in March and April, that's not his time. They made 3 adjustments, some of them 2. 2 30-day months was added just so that they can keep it in March and April, and others have 3 30-day months so that they can keep it in March and April. We have not touched it because that's a delusion. Changing time on paper does not change the rotation of the sun, the moon, and the stars in the heavens. Okay, so we know that we'll count 14 days, come down till you see number 15 in red. Now look on the right of it. You'll see 14. That's the lunar event. That's Yah's time. On the 14th day, in the evening, goes into the first day of the feast of unleavened bread. We're finally here. I've never been so nervous in my life. So many things are happening in the heavens, in the skies. I've seen some things for myself that I cannot explain. The time has drawn nigh. This could be it. When the Father comes back to gather his people. On this day, the 14th day in the evening, the high priest, he is going to make the atonement for you on the 15th day. See, the 14th day in the evening and the 15th day are the same thing, because the 15th day starts in the evening of the 14th. How does a lunar day work? From evening to evening. On this day, the high priest, Yahushua HaMashiach, is going to make an atonement for all of those who participate. He's not going to make an atonement in March and April. That is not Yah's time. He's only going to do it on the time that the Father said to follow, not time that men have created. Now we're going to start the exercises, teaching exercises. We're going to teach you everything about this great feast, when the Father stretched forth his arm with an open palm to the Kedusha Yam. Shalom.